majority of us are done writing?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one says, actually someone read it for me.
Oh.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Okay, Maria goes shopping and buys $122.48 worth of clothes. The state tax is 8.1%. What is her total cost for this shopping trip?
Okay, I want one person to raise their hand and tell me how you figured this out. Go ahead, tell me how you figured it out. There's two
Okay.
different ways that you can do it. We're gonna go over both ways.
Okay, so I took 8.1 and moved it to a decimal to
Okay.
0.081.
Okay, so you changed, she took 8.1%, 8.081 is what you said as a decimal? Okay. Does everyone see how she got percent to a decimal?
Yeah.
Okay, now we
So,
do,
then I did 122.48.
okay, so you
Times.
took the amount.
Yeah.
So she did 122.48 times what?
1.081.
Times 1.081.
How do you get one?
Hold on, let her finish.
$132.40.
$132.40. Okay.
I mean, you don't have to really have that money.
That's
Yeah,
I
so you don't have to. What you could have done is you could have done 122.48 times
Found the tax and then
0.081,
added it.
and then you would have had to add it to 122. So you're doing an additional step, right? But she said, why not add the 1? Because what is 122.48 times 1?
Same
So,
thing.
So then times 0.081, she eliminated one whole step because she's saying I'm going to add 1 to 0.081 because that's going to include my $122.48 plus the 0.081. Does that make sense? 122.48 times 1 is still 122.848.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well then sit up in your chair.
I can't see when I sit up like this.
Okay, then you can move over here so you can see. So we can understand this. This is going to tie into what we're doing today. There's a reason why we're doing this. So I want you to really pay attention and try to make sense of this, okay? So, and get a calculator. On your calculator, I want you guys to do 122.48. And we'll do it the first way, times 0.081. Do you see how she got 0.081 as a decimal?
Times what are you?
And what did you get?
9.92.
Now add that to your original amount, 122.48. So you got this answer, correct?
132.40.
Okay, and is that not the answer? So what Caitlin said is, well, isn't 1 right here times 122.48? Isn't that still 122.48? So she just included it in there. Now put this in your calculator. 122.48 times 1.081. You didn't have to do that extra step of adding it back. Did you still get 132.4? Why? Because 1 times 122.48 is still 122.8. So you
I
have
still don't know what the one is. Like,
Alright.
where is that one?
It's
from?
right.
The one is the
Additional
original
amount.
amount. When you
Hey.
multiply anything times 1, you
Think
get
think
itself.
about it this way also. Think about your percents. What is 1? 1 whole, right? 1 whole. What does that represent as a percent? 1 whole changes to what as a percent? If I were to change 1 into a percent, what's it going to be?
100.
It's going to be what? What'd you say?
100.
100, right? 100%. 1 is 100%, right? Okay, that 0.081 was what percent?
8.1.
8.1%, correct? Now, when you're doing tax, do you have to pay 100% of the price?
No.
Yes, you do. Yes. Yes.
When you pay tax, when you go up to the counter and you pay for it, you're going to pay for the price. You're going to pay for the item.
Yeah.
That's 100%, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to pay the tax, which is an additional 8.1%, correct? So does it make sense that you paid 108.1%? You paid the whole price, which is 100%. And then you paid the tax, which is 8.1%. So did you pay the whole price, which is 100%, right? Did you pay the tax, which is 8.1%?
Yes.
So you paid 108.1%. And what is that as a decimal? It's 1.081. Because 100% is 1. And 8.1% is 0.081. Okay, another thing to think about. We said 1 what? What does 1 represent? 1, everybody listen, focus. 1 what? What'd I say? 1 whole. Right?
Yes.
1 whole. Did you pay the whole price? Plus the tax, right? So you're paying the 1 plus the 0.081. That's the tax. So if you underline, use red.
How did you get 0.081?
Because that's
You changed
8.1%.
decimal.
8.1% to a decimal. You do the
Yeah, I
decimal
get that.
back too.
Why would you move it to?
Notice, watch. Is that 1 whole? That's 1 whole. That's 100% of this price. I'm going to have to pay that plus tax. Am I not going to have to pay that plus tax? So I put the 1 there because I have to pay this. 1 times anything is itself. So the only reason I put the 1 there is because I have to pay this price, correct? Then this part right here represents the what? Tax. The 1 represents the original price. The tax is represented by this decimal. Does that make more sense? The 1 is the price, which you're going to pay. The 0.081 is the tax, which you're going to pay in addition to this. So what most students do naturally is that you find the percent tax. Well, if they ask you to find the tax, that's great. Go and find it. If they said, what is the tax? Then I would multiply by 0.081 and I would tell them the answer. But they're not asking that. They want to know the price after tax. How much you pay total, correct? So in that case, instead of me finding the tax and then adding it back, we're going to just go ahead and multiply by 1.081 because that is the price. 1 times 1 is the price. And then times 0.081 is the tax. It's just a quicker way to do it.
Now, why did you move it twice? Why don't you just move it?
Okay, because when you change a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. And what happens to the decimal place when you divide by 100? It moves twice because it has 2 zeros, right? So we move 2 times to the left because it's getting smaller because we divide it. Got it? So anytime you change a percent to a decimal, you have to move it twice because you actually divide it by 100. Remember our proportion, percent over 100? Part over whole is equal to percent over 100. Percent is always divided by 100 if you want to make it a number. If you want to make the percent a decimal, you divide by 100. And the quick way is just to move the decimal twice. Okay? If I said 23%, you'd have no problem spitting out 0.23. How many times did you move it? Twice. If I said 45%, what would you tell me?
0.45.
0.45. It's the harder ones, like when they say 5%. Y'all say 0.5. It's not. It's 0.05. 5% would be 0.05.
0.5 is 50%.
0.5 is 50%. That's correct. All right, and those are the ones that generally mess us up. Okay, when they don't look easy.
Okay, let's do a practice problem real quick.
Oh, dang it.
That you can do. You don't have to write it down. I'm just gonna write. Okay, let's say we go to Chick-fil-A
Walmart.
and we
Chick-fil-A.
buy $34 worth of food. Okay, no, let's say we go to Cheddar's because that's where someone's gonna serve you. So instead of doing tax, let's do tip.
Oh,
Because
okay.
isn't that additional as well?
Yes.
If you tip
15%.
someone, if you go out to a restaurant and you eat and a server comes to your table, your
Oh, tip.
parents probably pay for the tip for the meal. But but they have to tip the server or the waitress. Okay, they're tipping them, so it's going to be additional. So you and your family go out to eat at Cheddar's for $34, and your parents are going to leave a 20% tip. What is the final cost of that bill?
$40.80.
You're saying $40.
40.8.
Okay, and did you do $34 times? What do you multiply it by to get that answer?
1.2.
1.2.
1.2.
Why?
Because the 0.2 right here is representing the tip portion. And this one in front of the 0.2 is just including the $34 that you're going to have to pay no matter what. That tip is just additional. That's why if you do times 1.2, it's going to include the $34 plus it's adding the 20% tip. Okay? And we got the 0.2 because we moved our decimal over 2 places. We divided by 100. That's just the rule. Okay? Does that make sense? And that correlates with tax. It's just a different way of saying it's representing it.
Now, y'all look at that real quick. Look at how it has 34, and then in parentheses it has 1.2. The only thing it's missing is to the x power, and it would look exactly like a what?
Exponential function.
So it looks like your A and your B, does it not?
Yes.
Okay, the only thing is, we're not repeatedly doing 20%. Exponentials, you would do 20%, 20%. A growth of 20% would be, hey, I grow 20%, then I take that and I grow 20% more, then I take that and I grow 20% more, then I take that and grow 20% more. Exponential growth works on itself. Okay, you're always growing by what, and it changes. So like you might have started with 34, but when you grew that first time, it became something else. And then you grew on that, which means you got 20% on whatever the increase was to begin with. So it's exponentially getting larger because you're increasing your money that you're getting 20% on every time. Okay?
Okay, let's look at number 2. Who wants to read this first?
Me.
Someone? Okay, go ahead, Katie.
James goes to buy a tractor at Target
A tractor.
for
At Lowe's.
At Lowe's.
How did you get targeted?
I told her to say Target. For $1,049.68. He has a coupon for 15% off. What is the price of the tractor before sales tax?
So, it's saying, this is the price of the tractor. But he has a coupon, he's gonna get 15% off of that price.
I know how to do this one.
Okay.
Let me try this one. No, let me try it.
Hey, Caitlin, let us try it before you say the answer.
Yeah. 1206.35.
Incorrect.
What did you get?
Of course.
Oh,
Okay, let's look at something. When you guys go shopping for clothes or for anything and it says 10% off, discount,
That's a
coupon,
trash discount.
what's gonna happen to the price of the item that you're buying?
Down.
It's gonna go down. So if you're getting a number bigger than what the initial price is, you automatically you can see you did something wrong.
She did.
Okay? I'm just saying, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying we did something wrong if our price is more when we're getting a discount. Everyone understand that discounts go down. It make the price lower. Okay, and it's saying we're saving 15%. Yes, Caitlin.
Can I do it?
Sure. How'd you do it?
Okay, I did 1,049.68
Okay, so
times
she took the initial price.
initial price
Shh, ladies.
times 0.15.
That's what I did.
Okay, and you got what?
I got 892. Wait.
I got 157.
I got
Wait.
157.45.
What did you get?
157.45.
Okay, and then what did you do?
I subtracted the 157 from the initial value.
Because that's the discount, right?
Yeah.
So then she did 1049.68, and she subtracted 157.45, and you got what?
892 and 23 cents.
And 23 cents. Okay. I'm gonna erase up here.
Now, she did that in 2 steps, didn't she? She actually found the discount, and then she subtracted the discount from the original price.